Hey everybody, it's Matthew of Mr. Domestic, where I spread joy and positivity through sewing and fabric play. This video I'm showing you a technique of quilting called quilt on the go. I'm doing a crib size quilt, a throw size quilt. I'm using width of fabric strips. They're 2.5 inches wide, and width of fabrics are like 44 inches. I don't know how many I have. I cut a whole bunch, but I'm hoping it's going to be long enough. If not, I have to add some. Then I have my backing fabric already on here. And then I'm using Quilter's Dream fusible, fusible 80-20 batting. It's fusible on one side. And I'm using this to fuse to the back. Since we're quilting as we go, I don't want this to get lumpy bumpy. And I'm only going to have to worry about maneuvering the front. So that is tip number 1 in this technique. So if you are along the ride to learn how to quilt as you go, before we get into the content, anytime you're enjoying it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Now let's have some fun. Okay, so we put these aside. So this right here, it's fusible on one side, and I have batting cut long enough to make a quilt, even if I have to cut more strips. And then I'm just using a steam iron and I'm pressing it along the way. And in the instructions, it says to put it on wool setting and then to start in the center and move out. I'm starting on the edge, but I'm starting in the center of the edge, so it's close enough, whatever, it's gonna work. And then I'm just gonna move it a little bit more. See, and then I'll flatten this out. And then here. So as we're quilting as you go, once we get into the technique, the front is where all of the action is going to happen. And I don't want to worry about what's going to happen to the back as I go. And that'll just simplify this whole process with a bigger project. But I've seen people, if they do smaller projects like a bag or like a pillow, that they just wouldn't have backing and you would just quilt as you go directly onto the batting. Then if you chose to have lining or something different, you could do it then. But in this case, since it is a quilt and I want it to stay in place and not get shifty in the back, shifty, then that's why I'm choosing it here. So I'm not gonna show you like me ironing the whole thing, but I wanted to go over that and give you my rationale for it and show you the differences that if you wanted to do a smaller project, you didn't have to do this. So when you see me in a second, I'll be over at my sewing machine sewing these strips to the front. Yay! So hi, I have a new setup. Instead of making this a smaller scale down project, I was like, let me see if I can figure out how to make like a quilty version of a project tutorial for y'all. And I have all of my strips, but I didn't have time to sort them, so it's gonna be random. And I have this rolled up. See how smooth the back is? It's so smooth. Then there's a top view to catch some of this. And we are going to start out, I'm not making this fancy, I'm just putting strip after strip after strip after strip. It's gonna be width of fabric quilt. I think it's gonna be like 42 by 60. And I'm putting these two right sides together. And that's where I'm going to start. And then I squared up the top to make sure that that was lined up correctly. And I have regular needle. I have my walking foot on and my thread, and I have my iron handy because I'm going to try and go back and forth between pressing and stitching. So the first thing is, and y'all know I don't like to like pin or clip if I don't have to. I am taking all of this and I'm going to line this up right here. So all of the edges of the backing, the edges of the batting, because I know that it's squared. And then I am going to stitch on this side of it at roughly 1/4 inch and just go to town. And then I'll show you a couple passes of this so you get the hang of it, and then I'll fast forward the rest of it. But here we go. It's all lined up. I'm lining it up on my foot here. And then now I am just going to stitch here. And this essentially is where the quilting is happening. It's a hidden seam that you're not gonna see. So it's gonna be all about the fabric in the front. You're not gonna see the quilting. If you wanted to do hand quilting or something after, go to town. But why add more work if you don't have to? And I wanna make sure that this first one is super precise. So I'm being meticulous, lining it all up as I go. And I'm gonna fast forward this pass so I can get to the good stuff. Okay, so the first pass is done. And now this is what you do with this. Hopefully you can see it from the top view, that you just fold one of them over. And I am going to press it. What did I do here? Ah! I totally did not do right sides together. See, this is what happens when you're not paying attention, folks. I'm ripping it out. I'm going to start over. Right sides together, folks. But this way you can see me sew again, because watching me sew is fun, I think. I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming that y'all are here, so you like to watch me sew. But now, okay, now I have it right sides together. And I bet a couple of y'all, like, clocked me for not having right sides together, and you're like, I can't wait till he figures it out. Thanks, y'all. I wish you were here to show me. Okay, so starting over, and now I'm gonna fast forward through this. You don't need to watch this whole thing again. Okay. Now I'm back here and I can show you that step. But now since you've seen it twice, I really don't need to show it to you too many times. But essentially you're gonna fold this over right here. I need to get some of these threads gone. And then press it just to flatten that seam. And this is a smart setup, Matthew, putting this on. I put this underneath so that it didn't shake so much when I record, but I think that's a smart idea. So I'll press this like this. And you're not gonna see the thread because it's hidden underneath, but it's definitely quilted. See, I'll show you from the back, see? Oh, there's the ugly one. That's the old bobbin thread, but see, it's quilted on the back, so it's definitely set to go. And then now you take another strip, and once again at random, because random is fun. And it takes the stress out of it. If you know the fabric is cute and it's going to go together, why not do it random? And then I'm going to do the same thing here. And then I'm just going to keep going down. Eventually you want to take it off and like make sure that it's still square if you're doing this specific style. But this could be like a table runner. This could be a pillow. Like if you scaled it down, there's a lot of utility just from this simple like strip all the way down thing. And then I'm going to change the camera up here because I want y'all to see what's going on with the sewing machine on a couple passes, and then that's basically the technique of quilting as you go. So I wanted y'all to see where I'm lining it up. It's roughly 1/4 of an inch. I don't know if that's precise, but it's close enough, and as long as it's the same all the way down, then you're good to go. And I'll finish this pass. You can see it a little bit in real time. So I'm just keeping it lined up. And then now I'll fast forward so you can still see it, but you don't have to hear me talk. Yay! And now you just do the same thing here, right? So I have this, and I'm just going to fold this over, press it with an iron, and then move on to the next one. And I think that y'all have seen enough of like the top view and the aerial view that I'm just going to, because fast forward is fun, I'm going to fast forward from the front view so you can see the process of it, and then I'll show you at the end what it looks like. So yay for sewing! So yay! Oh, this light is bright. Whatever! So I haven't finished the quilt, but I've done enough of it to show you the ooh la la of it. See, this is the front. It's so clean. Like, and it's surprising that it's so cozy in the back. Like, look at the back. Like, you can see the quilting on the back, but this would not have happened if I wouldn't have used the fusible. It really does next level the ease of this project and like the end result awesomeness of this project. So, do you enjoy this video? You're ready to get your quilt as you go on. Got a laugh, got a tip. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Keep it positive, y'all. Mr. Domestic out. Still here. I have a couple more tips that I'm gonna tell y'all vlog style because I don't feel like setting up my other camera. But towards the end, because I've done quilt as you go before, but not like a quilt size. And towards the end, it got harder to just like grab a strip and like add it on there. So I started to bring it over here. And I'm glue basting right here. See? And then I'm gonna add the next strip. Hold on, I'm gonna pause back. So now I added this strip. Boom. You see it right there? And I'm gonna get my iron. Look at me, I'm like vlogging in the middle of a tutorial. And I'm gonna heat set it with my iron. Ooh, I'm ironing backwards. I'm such a rebel. And this puts it in place so that like I can just grab it and go, and also make sure that it's all squared up so that it's not like weird towards the end. It only got more difficult towards the end, so I got like 3/4 of it done, fine. But then towards the end is when you want to, I said towards the end like 18 times. Towards the That's when you want to make sure that it's squared up, and it was just slightly off, but you want it to be super square towards the end. So those are some tips that I got. If you made it to the end and you watched this, and you get even more tips. If you didn't make it, sorry about it. You should have watched the whole thing. Okay, bye. Keep it positive.